Why does this 90-day manifestation cycle work so creepy well? I was just opening my journal to start the next round of this 90-day manifestation cycle in my own life, and I have realized that I have been doing this for a year now. And when I look back at the past year of having done this, I am shook on how much of this has manifested, and I am shook on how well this has worked in my life. This is by far the creepiest manifestation success that I have ever seen, and I have experienced some creepy manifestation success. This thing works, and it's actually really not that much work. It's a pretty low maintenance manifestation routine. So I've actually manifested a ton of stuff using this routine. When I first started this routine, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, right? It's a pretty low maintenance routine. So I just wrote down a bunch of things that I wanted to manifest, and I started them in April of 2023. And then I wrote in my journal that they would all come true by July of 2023, which was 90 days from when I originally wrote in the journal. And so I wrote a lot of things in this journal, including like buying a new house, a lot of career success, a lot of major changes in my relationships, and all of it happened in that 90 days. And actually, that 90 days was crazy, and it was kind of horrible because I was so busy because everything that I had written down came true in the 90 days. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to come true, so I wrote down a lot of really big manifestations, and to get all of those big manifestations in the 90 days was actually, honestly, you guys, too much. I was busy. So that was the first time that I did this routine, and I was like, whoa, well, that actually worked, and I manifested so much stuff that I was actually kind of overwhelmed with how much I was manifesting. So then after I saw how well that worked when I tried it for the first 90-day cycle, I kept doing it. And a couple cycles later, I again manifested something crazy, which was my YouTube channel. So when I wrote this in December of 2023, my YouTube channel had 74 subscribers, and I wrote, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it manifested. This one did take a little bit more than 90 days. I think it was a couple of weeks late, but I'm still really shocked because for me in my life, it took me like a year to get to 74 subscribers. So to go from 74 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers in like 3 or 4 months was crazy. And I really credit this 90-day manifestation cycle routine with that success. So how do you do this 90-day manifestation cycle routine? So this is a really low maintenance manifestation routine that you're kind of just always keeping simmering on the back burner. So every 90 days you're going to do this manifestation routine, and it's going to be done in 90-day cycles. So this routine will help you constantly up-level your life and your manifestations on a rolling 90-day basis. Because every 90 days you're going to check in on your manifestations, see how they're doing, and then you're going to up-level yourself, up-level your manifestations for the next 90 days. And if you have some manifestations that you want to expedite, or if you're just a little impatient with your manifestations, you can also do a 30-day cycle. You could put in a little more commitment to this, and you could do this every 30 days instead of every 90 days so that your manifestation cycles move quicker. And if you're going to be a little more laid back with your manifestations, if you want to have a little less commitment, you could do a yearly cycle. So how do you do this? You are going to start off by picking a day in your calendar and marking it as the first day of your 90-day manifestation cycle. And then on that date, you are going to take out your journal and you are going to answer these questions. And quick side note here, I actually recommend that you get a separate journal for this 90-day manifestation cycle because, to be honest with you guys, when I first started this, I was using the same journal that I was using for other things, but obviously 90 days is a bit of time in between each cycle, so when I would be finished with one 90 days, I would go to my journal and there'd be like all these other random journalings in between each 90-day cycle. So I recommend that you get a journal specifically for the 90-day cycles so that each 90 days you can come back to the same journal and clearly see how you are progressing through your manifestations. Okay, so you're going to start out by taking a current life inventory. So where are you at in your life currently? So you're going to look at all the different aspects of your life, especially the aspects that you want to change, that you want to manifest in. So you're going to look at these aspects of your life and write down where you are currently. So you might write down, I'm working at this job and I'm making this much money. I am dating this person and this relationship feels like this, etc., etc. So just write down, take an inventory of where you are in your life right now. And after this, you're going to write down the manifestation wins that you have had in the last 90 days. So if this is your first time doing this, you're going to just think back to the last 3 months of your life and you're going to write down the wins, the things that you have manifested in the last 90 days. Even if it's something small, like let's say you manifested a free cup of coffee, you could write that down, but especially write down any big things you've manifested. And after this, for the next section, you're going to write down what has not manifested yet that you want to manifest. So these are all the manifestations that you've been working on, but they haven't come into your reality yet. You're going to write these down. So for example, maybe you want to manifest your dream house. You want to manifest a promotion at your job. The things that you want but you don't have yet, you're going to put on this list. Then for the next section, you're going to write down what manifestation practices, what inner work practices have I been doing in the past 90 days that have gotten me to where I am now. So you're going to look back over the past 90 days and you're going to ask yourself, what have I been doing to manifest my desires? So perhaps you have been journaling nightly. daily, you'd write that down. Or perhaps you have done some inner work shifting your core beliefs, you'd write that down. So you're going to write down all the inner work and the manifestation practices that you have done in the past 90 days to get you to the point where you're at now. So once you have all of that inventory of the past 90 days down, you have a good look and you're able to become really aware of where you are with your manifestations and what actions, what vibration has led you to get to this point. So now at this point, you're ready to turn yourself to the future and you're ready to start focusing on the next 90 days. So next you would write, where do I want to be in the next 90 days? And then you're going to write the date. The date that is 90 days from where you are today, count that out on your calendar and write that in your journal. And then I want you to write down what you want your life to be like on that date. So for example, in my journal, I wrote purchase a dream house with soak tub and spaces to do yoga, meditation, etc. And that actually manifested. So you're going to write down what you want to have accomplished in your life by this date. All the things that you want to have manifested in your life by this date. And the next section is going to be, what manifestation practices or inner work do I need to do to get to this next level? So this is the part where you are going to decide and commit to the manifestation practices that you want to do for the next 90 days so that you can align with this new life, with this new vibration, with these manifestations that you wrote above. So wherever you want to be in the next 90 days, those manifestations that you wrote above, you're going to now determine what inner work, what manifestation practices you are going to do so that you can align with that frequency and so you can bring those manifestations into your life. So some of the things that you could write on this list include working on my limiting beliefs, transforming my limiting beliefs into positive beliefs, meditating daily, visualizing living in my dream life as I fall asleep at night, etc. So you're just gonna write a list of what you're gonna do for the next 90 days so that you can get to that next level. And that's all that you have to do. So now that you've answered all these questions, your 90-day manifestation cycle is set. So you're going to be able to close this notebook and you don't have to worry about opening this again for the next 90 days. So now for the next 90 days, you are just going to commit to doing those manifestation practices and that inner work that you wrote down in your journal. And then you're going to set a reminder in your calendar for that date that's 90 days from now, 90 days from when you did this journaling. And then when that day comes, you're going to have that reminder on your calendar to do the next 90-day cycle of this manifestation practice. So at that point, you would reopen your journal and you would reread some of the things that you wrote 90 days ago. You would look back at all the things that you wanted to manifest and you would answer these same questions looking at that previous 90-day cycle journaling. So you would go back and ask yourself, what is my life inventory like now? What are my manifestation wins in the last 90 days? From those things that I intended to manifest 90 days ago, which ones are now my reality? Where do I see my manifestation wins? And then you would look back at that list again and you'd ask yourself, what has not manifested yet? So what did you write down on that list that you wanted to manifest that didn't come to pass, that isn't in your reality? You would write down those things. And then once you have that figured out from looking at your previous 90-day manifestation journaling, you would then look at what inner work, what manifestation practices did you actually do in the last 90 days. So here you're kind of taking accountability. Did I actually visualize daily? Did I actually meditate daily? And if not, how often did you visualize? How often did you meditate? And it's totally fine if you didn't stay totally on track for your manifestation practices. It's a lot of work to be doing all these manifestation practices. So the goal here isn't to shame yourself or feel bad because you didn't do all of the inner work or manifestation practices that you promised yourself that you would do. The goal here is just to be aware of what you actually did and what actually manifested from that inner work, from those manifestation practices, so you can become aware of how your vibration is changing and how your life is changing based on this inner work and those manifestation practices that you are doing. And now, since this is a 90-day cycle, you would once again look ahead to the next 90 days. And you would write that date 90 days into the future again, and you would write down again where you want to be in the next 90 days, and then you would write down what inner work do I need to do to get to this new level. So this is a cycle where every 90 days you are coming back to your journal, you're opening it up, you're looking at what has manifested, what has not yet manifested, you're deciding what you want to manifest for the next 90 days, you're looking at the inner work that you have been doing, how it's translating into actual manifestations, and you're setting a game plan for the inner work, for the manifestation practices that you are going to do for the following 90 days. So it's a continuous 90-day cycle where you are always becoming aware of your vibration, becoming aware of what's manifesting, and you are setting goals to manifest greater levels of the things that you want. So if you guys have watched my videos before, you know that I do a lot of daily manifestation routines. I love to stay on track, keep my mindset right by doing journaling, visualizing daily. So when I started to do this once in a 90 days manifestation cycle routine, I kind of did it as an ad hoc, whatever, I'll just try this and see what happens. But when I tried it the first time and all that stuff that I wrote down, even more stuff than I could handle, came into my life, I was shook and I was like, okay, well there's something to this, so I need to keep doing it. So why did this 90-day manifestation cycle routine work so creepy well in my own life? Well, actually, I'm a little bit amazed how well this works, and I'm a little bit baffled. So I'm not 100% sure why it works so creepy well, but here are some speculations that I have. First of all, I think it is the set it and forget it attitude. So when you are doing this journaling routine once every 90 days, you're not constantly thinking about it, right? You're opening your journal, you're answering the questions, and then you're setting a calendar reminder to revisit it again in 90 days. And typically, in between these two 90-day cycles, you are not revisiting your journal. You're not thinking too much about it. You're doing your manifestation practices like normal, but you're not checking in, where are my manifestations, what's going on, because you have that calendar reminder set in the future. And so when you're going about your day-to-day life, you're not really thinking about it until you get to that next 90-day check mark. So I think having that set it and forget it attitude, where you are essentially writing it down in your journal, setting a reminder to yourself that you're going to check on it in 90 days, and then just going about your normal life, not thinking about it, puts you into this vibration of letting go, and it puts you into a state of detachment. So it's removing all of that attachment and that hungry energy for your manifestations, and it's kind of taking them off the pedestal because you're not focusing on them so much. And also, you are taking tangible action to become this new version of yourself, to align with this new timeline. So you aren't just writing in your journal, I want to manifest a new house, and not doing anything about it. You're writing in your journal, I want to manifest a new house, and then you're also writing in your journal, what actions am I going to take to align with this vibration? So you are essentially changing your actions, you're consciously changing your thoughts for the next 90 days so that you can consciously choose to shift yourself into a new version of yourself, into a new timeline. Because if you hadn't done this 90-day manifestation routine and you had just written your manifestations down, but you didn't take any actions or you didn't shift your vibration to align with your desires, you might not get your desires. But because when you are using this 90-day manifestation cycle, you are taking conscious action, you are consciously choosing to change your life trajectory by changing your thoughts and your actions, and so you are consciously aligning yourself with a different version of yourself, a different timeline, the version of yourself that would be thinking in a different way, doing different things than you are doing today. And so that puts you in the state to align, to match the frequency of your manifestations. The biggest benefit to doing this 90-day manifestation cycle is that it helps you become aware of your sticking points. It helps you become aware of your vibration, what's easy for you to manifest and what's hard for you to manifest. So when you are writing down what you want to manifest and then you are coming back to it in 90-day cycles, you now have a really good record of your manifestation journey. So you're not just all willy-nilly trying to manifest things, putting intentions out there, not really sure like what's sticking, what's not sticking. With this 90-day manifestation cycle, you are essentially keeping an organized track record of what you're trying to manifest and what you're actually manifesting, focusing on those sticking points. So it really helps you become aware of which parts of your life are easy for you to change and which parts of your life have a bit more sticking points, have a bit more stuckness to them. And by seeing this, you can become more aware of where your limiting beliefs are. So those areas that you're having more difficulty manifesting in. So for example, if you're having more difficulty manifesting in relationships, you are now aware that you have more limiting beliefs in regards to relationships. And once you become aware of these limiting beliefs, you now have more power to change them. You have the power to shift them, which will help you become a more well-rounded manifester. It will help you be more successful at manifesting in all areas of your life. So this routine is an amazing tool to add to your manifestation toolkit. And if you like this video, if you like journaling, you need to check out my video on scripting. In this video, I share with you guys 7 amazing scripting techniques that have really been proven to work in my life. So definitely check that one out if you guys like journaling and you like scripting.